Hello, welcome to TD's Pokemon Lair. I'm TD and this is the Lair. Today we're unboxing a box of 10 cards, or Pokemon cards I sent to Professional Sports Authenticator over a year ago. I got them back in this nice cute box. They packaged them very well so that they get here safely. Let me get them out of the box and we'll see what grades I got. Alright, let's go. Let's talk about this 1999 Pokemon game-based set Charmeleon, the number 24 card. Looking at this card, you can see that the surface is nice and clean. I don't see any dirt, damage, bends, breaks, rips, or anything like that. Our centering from top to bottom, I think it's slightly towards the bottom, but possibly within tolerance. Looking for left to right, though, you can see that it's quite a bit towards the right. And looking at our corners and our edges, you can see that there's some slight damage down that right side. Looking to the back of the card, the surface looks really good. I don't see any damage, dirt, grime, or anything. Looking at our centering, from side to side, it's towards the left. From top to bottom, I think it's pretty good. Looking at our corners and our edges, this card has slight damage to all four edges and four corners. And we're going to get a grade of excellent, mint, 6. Not too bad. The card is a 1999 Pokemon game-based set Dugong, the number 25 card. Looking at this card, you can see that the front looks really good. I don't see any damage, dirt, grime, bends. Looking at our centering from top to bottom, I think it's not too bad. Probably within tolerance. Looking from left to right, though, I think it's quite a bit towards the right. But our edges and our corners don't look too bad. Looking to the back of the card, you can see that the surface is nice and clean. I don't see any damage to the graphics. Our centering from right to left is towards the left, and from top to bottom, I think it's within tolerance. Finally, looking at our corners and our edges, all four corners have some slight damage, and the top, bottom, and right edges all have some damage. And we're going to get a grade of excellent, mint, 6. That's not too bad for a 20-some-year-old card. I have a 1999 Pokemon game-based set Farfetch, the number 27 card. Looking at the front of Farfetch'd here, this card is nice and clean. The surface has no problems. I don't see any dirt or anything. Looking at our centering from top to bottom, I think that's within spec. Our side-to-side centering looks a little towards the right, maybe taking us out of the 10 spec. And our edges and our corners show no damage. As I look to the back of the card, our surface and graphics are nice and clean. I don't see any damage. Our centering is towards the right from side to side, and I think top to bottom it's pretty good. Looking at our corners and our edges, both right corners, the left edge and the lower left corner all have some slight damage. And that's going to give us a grade of near mint, 7. I think that should have been a little better, but a 7 is okay. I'm looking at a 2000 Pokemon Gym Challenge Giovanni, a Holo, the first edition, the number 18 card. Looking at this card, you can see that the surface is really clean. The graphics are nice and shiny, no scratches or any problems there. Our centering from top to bottom, I think, is within tolerance. From left to right, I think it's slightly towards the right. And our edges and our corners are nice and clean. Looking at the back of the card, the surface is just as clean as the front. There's no damage. Looking at our centering, as you can tell, it's quite a bit to the left. From top to bottom, I think it's slightly towards the bottom. And looking at our edges and our corners, everything's great except the upper right corner has some slight damage. And that's going to give us a grade of mint, 9. Again, better than I thought. Let's examine this 2000 Pokemon Gym Challenge Sabrina, a Holo first edition card. This trainer is the number 20 card. Looking at Sabrina here, you can see the holographics look really clean. There's no scratches. Our surface is nice with no bends or problems. Our centering from top to bottom is slightly towards the bottom. From left to right, it's quite a bit to the right, probably taking us out of the 10 spec. And our edges and our corners are very clean. Flipping this card over and looking at the back of the card, you can see that the surface is clean. There's no bends, damage, or broken pieces, nothing going on. Looking at our edges and our corners, they're very clean, but our centering is definitely off to the left and I think a little towards the bottom. And with that, we got a grade of mint, 9. With all that centering, I thought it'd be a little lower, but oh well. We're looking at a 2000 Pokemon Black Star promo from the Pokemon League, a computer error. The number 16 card, it's Rocket's Secret Machine. As we look at the front of this card, the surface looks really clean on the front. I don't see any bends or damage. Looking at our centering, I think it's towards the bottom, from the top to bottom, and left to right, I think it's a little towards the right. Our corners and our edges, I don't see any damage. Looking at the back of the card, let's start at the centering, from top to bottom and left to right. I think the top to bottom is in pretty good shape. Looking from left to right, I think it's slightly towards the left. Finally, looking at our corners and our edges, I think they're pretty good. I don't see a lot of damage there. Looking at our surface of the card, it looks pretty good until you get the lower right corner and there is a slight bend in the card, which I'm sure is going to affect the grade. And that's going to give us a grade of excellent 5. I didn't think that bend was that bad. Wow. Check out this 2000 Pokemon Black Star promo from the Pokemon League, the Team Rocket's Meowth, the number 18 card. Look at the front of this card. From first glance, it looks really good. I think our centering looks pretty good from side to side, and from top to bottom it's slightly towards the top, but not too bad. Looking at our corners and our edges, they look pretty good. Looking at our surface of the card, it looks clean, except in the upper yellow border there is a little mark up, vertical mark, so that might affect the grade. As we turn this card over and look at the back, the surface and graphics look really good. I don't see any issues there. Looking at our centering, it looks really good from side to side and from top to bottom. I think it's within spec or tolerance for the back. And our corners and our edges, I don't see any problems. This should be a decent grade. And we got a grade of excellent 5. That little mark on the top border should not take us down that far. We have a rare 2000 Pokemon Black Star promo from the Pokemon League, the Mew card, the number 8. If you look at this card, you can see that the surface is really clean. I don't see any damage, except until you get, if you look down by the number for the card, the 8 card, there's a small ding right there. But the centering looks good from top to bottom, and our corners or edges look really good. And side to side centering looks just as good as the top to bottom. Looking at the back of the card, it looks really clean. I don't see any damage, dirt, or problems with the surface or anything. Looking at our centering, it looks really good from side to side and bottom to top. Looking at our corners and our edges, I think there's some slight damage to just a minor speck of damage on the upper edge towards the right and on the lower right corner. And that's going to give us a grade of mint 9. That's pretty good for that old promo. Let's look at a 2000 Pokemon Team Rocket Dark Golbat, the first edition number 24 card. The front surface of this card is very clean. I don't see any damage, dirt, bends, or any problems. Our centering from side to side and top to bottom, I think, is within tolerance. Our edges and our corners are nice and clean. And the surface of the back of the card looks really clean. I don't see any issues there. Their graphics are nice and crisp and clean. Our centering, I think, is within tolerance from side to side and from bottom to top. Our corners and our edges are nice and crisp, very clean. This should be a good card, and we got a grade of Gem Mint 10. I thought so. That was a good card. It's a 2000 Pokemon Team Rocket Dark Gyarados, a first edition, the number 25 card. Looking at this surface of this card, it's very clean. I don't see any problems with it, no dirt or damage, creases, bends, or anything. Our centering from side to side, I think it's within tolerance. Also along with our top to bottom centering, I think is within tolerance. Our edges and our corners are within tolerance for how clean they are. The back of the card from side to side on the centering looks really good. From top to bottom, I think it's a little towards the top, possibly within tolerance. Our edges and our corners are really clean. I don't see any issues there, and our surface looks very clean. I don't think there's any damage. And that's going to give us a grade of Gem Mint 10. Surprised by that one. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I appreciate you watching. Please like and subscribe, and remember, You got to catch them all. Have a great day.